Okay, got that. One, two, three, four. Box guy. It's Barbara causing trouble. Trying to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. Where's my where's all my comments? There it is. All right. Good evening, lunatics. Y'all buckle up. This one can get wild. I'm coming to you live from the Blue Ribbon Bar. I've been at the shop all day and I didn't have time to go home. So I pulled out the old MacBook and we're going with it. It could get ugly. I don't know. I've got a beer. I need one. Larry's not allowed to drink. So I do have Richie over here with me. So Richie will drink what Larry would have drank. And Larry probably can't hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, he's got them. Why is your camera so dark? That's weird. That's weirding me out.
I'll see if I can fix that.
Barbara's in the comments. She says, "How's it going, box jockeys?" She's getting a little bit ahead of her raising here. She just started doing a platform this week on her first load right now, by the way, and she's already talking trash to everybody pulling a band. So if I were you, sister, I would probably wait until I at least get done with the first platform load before I start talking trash. Wow, what a hell of a day. I'm so ready for a drink. Well, I've already had one and I'm getting ready to get another one.
Camera brightness is all the way up.
You know what? I'm gonna live with it. At this point, Barbara said it's fine. So let me know. I'm using an AirPod here. And Lord have mercy, what's he doing? Unfortunately, we're not live on TikTok tonight, but they'll have to get over it. I stirred up some trouble over there today, so Barbara, you'll have to let me know if the AirPod thing is working. Because obviously,
we're not live on TikTok, by the way.
We are not live on TikTok. That is correct.
I see that.
I've got technology spread out on the, but I couldn't pull that off. So there's a whole slew of blue ribbon drivers over here to my left. Phil says 40%. What is 40%, Phil?
Why don't you put turn your camera so I can see who's there drinking?
So you got Richie, you got Seth Coberly, and we got Pigpen over here in the middle. Hey, Evan, turn around and show him your back. Yeah, there was an incident today. There was oil.
I hope that's grease, not blood.
Okay, listen, there may be a fire later. There may be an 06 Freightliner that's on fire because I've had enough dealing with these damn godforsaken trucks. So anyway, I've got this bunch of clowns over here, so it's hard to tell how this goes. Tony Smith says, "Hey guys, found y'all a couple months ago. Listen from episode 1, currently on 134." Well, Tony, bless your heart, brother.
You have a very, very, very low entertainment threshold, Tony. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Listen, I've joined the masses this weekend with all the Kentucky stuff. I've been watching some podcasts, and it's made me believe even more how stupid you all are.
Well, go ahead and tell us, how do you feel about this new Kentucky coach? Are you happy? Are you sad?
Well, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. We were just so tired of all.
Patino gave a very passionate
that we were about ready to take anything. So,
I saw Patino gave a very passionate endorsement of this kid.
He
So
got his check out and wrote a big check to the NIL club too.
okay.
Did. Yeah. So we'll see.
Jay Sands said. Jay Sands telling Tony, he said, you heard 134 episodes of all truckers are dumb and buy an '07 Columbia. Well, hey, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, we could do one episode that truck drivers are dumb and you should buy an '07 Columbia, and that pretty much, covers the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know about the '07 Columbia part, but anyway.
Well,
so what's the inside joke with Barbara?
I'm not sure. They
40% through her first load.
I'm not sure. They got their own little world over there in the platform division of Blue Ribbon. So I try to stay out of that. I don't want to end up corrupted in any more than I already am. So
I'd steer clear of that if I were you.
Yeah,
I don't mingle with those folks.
Well, we had a TikTok comment today on a 2-year-old video, and it was one that I had produced that was talking about buying a $10,000 truck, putting 30 grand into it. It was a short video, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and this comment was all caps. This is a 2-year-old video. The numbers have changed. Viewers beware. And so I responded to that because you can still buy a Columbia for $10,000 or a Century, and you can still put 25 or 30 grand into it, and you can still make it a reliable, efficient, safe, legal, compliant truck. You can still make a profit with it for 2 years later, and that device will work 2 years from now, and 2 years after that, and 2 years after that. But it's just such a wild experience spending as much time in the shop now as I do, because I get to see the new ones come in. That with CPCs that need programmed, and the accelerator pedal won't work. And we had one today. It's like a tanker, a single axle tanker truck. The air conditioner won't work because of a module. So we had to go buy the module. We had to reprogram the module. You can't just have a damn air conditioner that just works on a binary switch and comes on and goes off when it needs to. We've got to run it through a damn module. That was, I don't know, probably $1,000. And then we've got to pay to have it programmed. The truck's been sitting there a week. It's just silly, and that's kind of the stuff I don't have to deal with on older trucks. So we do have some concrete information that we can give you. May 20th is coming, and that's going to be the grand opening of the Blue Ribbon shop inside Cam's Service Center. So here we're gonna have a grand opening. We're going out to get our MD alignment training. So we're going to be offering MD alignments. We're going to be offering OPS installs, fleet air filters, Pittsburgh power tuning. All that stuff is going to be offered at Cam's Service Center, where I'm now also working. And so, we're going to be able to provide those services to you. We're working on getting the national tire accounts set up. And that is a little more of a challenge than I figured it would be. But we're working through it. So hopefully we're going to be able to offer, the good Michelin tires. If you run, whatever, Bridgestones, Yokohamas, all that kind of stuff. But right now we don't have that capability. So we're working on getting that. We're also working on getting set up to be, not us, but Cam's is going to be set up to do Landstar 120-day inspections. I don't have a date on when that'll start yet. We've got some training. They've got some training to do. We're not allowed to do it as Blue Ribbon. But they are getting set up. So we'll let you know when that's going to start. But at some point in the near future, Cam's is going to show up as a Landstar 120-day inspection site. So that'll be handy for a bunch of you BCOs that are looking for something, because this shop's open 24/7. You know, we're not going to be in this stupid deal with TA when you can only get one when the certain guy's there. You know, you should be able to get a 120 just about any time within reason. Please don't call us at 3 o'clock in the morning for a 120. Please. We'd prefer you don't do that. But we do plan on offering that as a service to Landstar BCOs so that, you know, you can get it done without losing a bunch of time. You know,
I've got an addendum to that statement. Don't call me at 3 o'clock for anything.
Well, yeah, I'd prefer that. Now, listen, for those that know, this is not blue. This is green. We're staying away from the blue drinks. We're going with the green. I'm told this is a Scooby snack. I don't know what's in it. I didn't ask. It's pretty good. Scooby snacks at the Blue Ribbon Bar. Okay, I'm gonna just roll. I'm gonna let the comments run this thing. Red Shift Trucking. Can you speak to the fuel mileage improvements from premium low rolling resistance tires? Can you get your money back from the investment now that they are $950 a piece? Well, brother, my first question is, where are you getting them for $950? Because, well, maybe you're talking about duals, because our super singles at our cost are what, about $1,300? They're like $1,800 retail for a single. So maybe they're talking about duals. I think
yes, it's a math problem. It's not a very difficult math problem, because you just have to look at what your increase is in fuel mileage, and then factor in what your cost per mile is fuel. And I mean, the numbers are there. We teach it at our event. We have charts and whatnot where and another thing we'll do is that if you bring your truck to CAMS for any reason, Chris will do what we're going to call a fuel mileage makeover on your truck while it's there, and he will be able to give you those numbers. We'll give you a spreadsheet with all that information on it, showing you if you would change your wheels and tires at right this minute. Here's what you stand to save in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, however long you want to do it. But the answer to that question is yes. Regardless of what they cost, they don't cost near enough for it not to work.
Right. I don't have the official BSE 9000, so I'm going to use the inferior reproduction. But right here's what tells you. You know, right. I mean, if you run, I'm going to try to do this on the fly. Let's say you run 100,000 miles.
And Chris, I'll look at the slide if you want to stall for a minute.
You want to do what?
I'll look for the slide from the event if you want me to.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go through this math. So if we did 100,000 miles at 6.5 miles a gallon, that's 15,384 gallons. So times what's fuel for now? $4. That's $61,500. Remember that, because I won't. If we do 100,000 miles and we get 7.5, so 1 mile per gallon, that's 13,333 gallons times the same $4. That's 53,333. What was it? 61.5 minus 61.
Chris, if I can share my screen, I've got the slide.
I'm not sure that we can do screen sharing on this platform. You might just have to share the information. Why is that frozen? Anyway, it's an $8,000 savings in 1 year. 1 year. 1 mile per gallon saves you $8,000. So, is that enough? Is $8,000 a year enough savings to spend double for what you would spend on a set of tires? I would think so. You know. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? Did you just get off your motorcycle? No, I did not. I've been at the shop all day, and I've gotten most of the grease off of my face. I took an oil filter loose, and I had this ingenious plan. I took a Ziploc bag and I put it over the filter. And as I was taking the filter off, the plan was that the oil filter would catch, or the Ziploc bag would catch all the oil. That didn't work. So it was on my face, it was on my glasses, it was up my nose. I mean, it worked in theory. You know what I mean? Let's see, DUX. Is that shop in Charleston? Yes, it's in Charleston, West Virginia, 2209 6th Avenue, Charleston, West Virginia, 25387. It's right off of the Montrose Avenue exit. You can come one of two ways. You can get off the Dunbar exit 54, or you can get off the Montrose exit, which is 58. Chris Cheatham is in the house. He's a Landstar agent, good friend of ours. This is interesting. Running teams in these new trucks is a nightmare. The computers don't like the bunk air different than the driver AC. Oh, well, see, that's a deal breaker for me, because when I ran team and I was asleep in the bunk, I wanted to make sure that the sub-zero frigid air would rush into the driver's compartment when I opened, because I wanted to be about 7 degrees in the sleeper while I was sleeping. There's no way. Is the shop just one
house?
Is this the shop just got one bay? Well, Kim's, we have 5 bays. We have one that we're going to use. But Cam's does have, well, hey, Chris Dolan's in the house. There he is. Cam's does have and changes tires, just not able to go to the national accounts at this time. So once we get that set up, that's going to make it a lot easier to give much more. Can you make any more noise sitting over there beside me? It will have more choice for you. So then, it's 2 separate businesses sharing the same building. If you come in for an MD alignment for us and you need suspension work, that work is going to go to Cam's. Cam's is going to take care of whatever suspension work you need, and then you'll come back over to Blue Ribbon and we'll take care of your alignment. Okay, why won't that work? Stop it.
Back to Redshift Trucking, all of our information that we talk about is based on our real-world experience, not any promotional material, not what manufacturers say. It's what we have experienced in millions and millions of miles of real-world experience.
Right. So his comment says, my confusion is Michelin says 3% improvement, 3% of 6.5 miles per gallon. Isn't that great? Here's the thing. It is a cumulative effect, right? If you put on really great tires and drive like an idiot, then don't buy the good tires, right? There's a dude. Come here. I'm going to show y'all video evidence. This is a guy right here that got in a truck that we had that had a 6.5 mile per gallon lifetime average, and it instantly went to 8. Now, it had the tires, it had the oil, it had the air filter, it had everything it needed to have. He raised it 1 mile per gallon, right? So drivers are 35% of the entire number, right? I met a guy at the truck show, and he comes up with his fuel gauges, and he's wanting to know about tires and all this stuff, and we're talking to him. He's got a Cascadia getting 6.5. I'm like, ooh. And then we said, well, how fast do you drive? And he was like, 72. And I'm like, that doesn't work. You can't run wide ass open all the time. Now, if you drive like an animal and you do all of these things, you'll be at 6.5 rather than 5.5. But it's the driver has to drive like they have some sense. And if you're the one paying for the fuel,
the improvement is based on what you have on there now. We have seen improvement far greater than 3% because it depends on what road resistance tires you have on there presently versus what you put on there. So it's very hard to say that 3% number because it depends on what you have, what you're taking off versus what you're putting on. And it's going to change with every tire. The example that we use, which was a real life example, was we had a lady at one of our first events that had just bought tires, and they were 136 roller resistance. The tire that we used at that time was 108. So when I did the comparison for her, the first year savings was $3,800. The second and third year savings were over $6,000 a year. So in the 3-year life expectancy of those tires, it was almost a $16,000 improvement. So it just depends on what the efficiency is of the tires that you're running now compared to what they're going to be when you replace them with the low rolling resistance.
David asked, do fairings make a big difference with the fuel economy? Some of the older trucks I'm looking at don't have them, just big fuel tanks. Certainly. And Steve Cron is the example that they really make a big difference, where, he's built a spaceship out of an International and has a 10 mile per gallon average for years. We have some trucks without the side fairings, and we have some that have the side fairings, and it's a negligible difference. We have just been able to show that we've had trucks that we didn't think would get good fuel mileage, and then you change the driver and the thing goes up 1 mile per gallon with the driver. So the driver's a huge part of it. The tires are important, but remember that everything we do, every little decision that we make, is about picking up those pennies. Remember that famous saying that I was given years ago: in the trucking industry, profits are measured in pennies, not dollars. And so all you have to do is reach over and pick up the pennies. And choosing to spend, I don't know let me Google it. What's a set of double coin, double coin drive tires? Okay, looks like they're somewhere between $300 and $400. Okay, so let's say that a good Michelin is $800. Let's say it's double. Well, spending that double at the time of purchase, and it saves you $5,000 to $6,000 a year. What's a no-brainer? It's a very, very simple mathematical computation. Steve Cron pulls a van. Now, I'm gonna tell you too, I used to think that platform, but our fuel, we had 2 trucks that were fighting for number 1 in fuel mileage. One was a 2018 Cascadia pulling a van. The other was an 03 Columbia with a Mercedes mid-roof pulling a flatbed. So, and those 2 were fighting every week for who was over 8 miles per gallon. So again, driver is huge. Driver is a huge part of that calculation. Hey, Josh wants to know what you're cooking. I hope it's not meth. Hey, Josh, we need a weather report from the slope in Alaska. Let everybody know what the temperature is up there right now. I talked to him the other day, and it was like -5. Well, Chris brings up a point here, and we've talked. See, this platform thing is kind of new for us, because when I came in, Larry wasn't necessarily a big fan of platform, and Phil's kind of turned us in a different direction. But we do know that sometimes with spread axles, you really have to think about having a tire that can take the durability of being drugged on that. So it's a balancing act. I want good fuel mileage, but I also, have to make sure that I've got a tire that's durable enough to handle the weight and the different things that come with platform. Barb says time constraints tend to come into play more heavily with van than platform. I tell you what, we were talking the other day, Barb, because Barb's an animal. Okay, Barb drove 14,000 miles in January. Okay, she started. I looked it up the other day. It was June something, and she's already put 100,000 miles on that truck. But she's had it kind of easy because that Cascadia gets good fuel mileage. I'd love to stick her in a lunatic truck and just see what happens. Oh, and listen, they're like, That's all coming from over here in the peanut gallery. Phil, there's a serious blue moon shortage here at the Blue Ribbon. Listen, Larry, you're going to have to come over and straighten this place out. There's no crown apple. The Larry Long shelf. Just got some Buffalo Trace, but it's looking very, very bare here. By the way, there's an announcement for you, Larry. The cucumber martini has been perfected for you whenever you are ready and released. She's just reported this to me. So
I'm ready for it, but it's not going to happen for a little while. Still got to have a couple of procedures that will prevent me from partaking. But thank you very much. Maybe she can make me a mocktail one.
Can you make him a mocktail? Yes. Yes, she can.
Then we're good. I'll be there the weekend of the 20th of April, and then back again on May 20th. Now, at May 20th, I'll be there permanently for a while.
We'll be here April 20th for an orientation. She will have cucumbers. Listen, cucumbers, I don't know. I guess I won't knock it until I've tried it. Matthew says, what is needed is a percentage gained for the measured rolling resistance. If there is a tire that has hang on a minute. If there's a tire that has the same lifespan at 90% the mileage gain, but at 75% the cost, it would be ideal. Barb, I found you a husband. Okay. If there's a tire that is the same lifespan at 90% of the mileage gain, but 75% of the cost. Okay. I'm sorry, brother. I'm trying to keep up, but Barb and Matthew are a match made in heaven, because this is the kind of stuff that I get.
What Matthew's referring to there is that there's also a myth that low roll resistance tires don't last as long, and we've just proven that also.
Oh, okay. All right, I get it. Okay.
Hey, this is not tender, Matthew.
He said it's not tender.
We're blocking you. You're out. Besides, she has a lot of trouble working with water, just so you know.
God. All right, somebody please save us from this. Get us off this. Hey, Josh, here we go. Josh said it's warmed up today in Alaska. It's 14 degrees with a 30-mile-per-hour wind.
Okay, I'll leave it where it is.
Yeah, please do. 90% of the fuel mileage gain, but lasts as long at 75% of the cost. Right. Well, I mean, listen, when Rocky was at the show in the empty alignment booth, they had a set of steer tires sitting there, had 291,000 miles. Could she please stop? Okay, I know. You don't have to say everything that comes to your mind. There's some things that you can keep to yourself, right?
Y'all are having way
Intrusive
too
thoughts.
much
Don't let
fun
the
over there.
intrusive thoughts win, Richie. But we see that people will buy cheap tires and destroy them in 60,000 miles. Whereas we have documented evidence that with the right driver, Larry, in Metro, could get 300,000 miles out of a set of steers. Son, if you scoot that chair one more inch, I swear to God, I'm going to beat you to death with a club. 300,000 miles on steers. And what'd you get? 350, 400,000 on drives?
450.
Hey, Chris says, what you're seeing here, Larry, has been going on at the shop all week. I'm glad you don't pay these guys by the hour.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. That I just lost my audio.
Listen.
There you go.
Huh?
Can you hear me, Chris? I'm losing my audio.
I can hear you.
My headset went out. Chris, when I come over. Okay, try this again. Chris, when I come over there to stay permanently on the 20th, you and I will resolve these issues, okay? I hope.
I'm looking forward to that. Okay, Matthew's got a clarification. I was more thinking about the rate of return on a cheaper tire versus tire cost. I won't claim that high mileage tires don't last as long. I've seen plenty of cheap tires that don't last. Right. But, think about what we've learned from Mike Beckett or Bruce Mallinson. Mike Beckett has shown us that there is a way to align a truck where it does not destroy tires. OPS showed us that there's a way to use engine oil in a way that it does not get thrown away unnecessarily. So when you have that information, when you can say, okay, I can align this truck to where it's not going to destroy any tire prematurely, that I can get the absolute maximum that a tire can offer. Okay, so now let's say we've taken a terrible tire and we've extended the life of that tire by 50%, pick a number. Well, if we figured out how to take a terrible tire and extend its life 50%, then why not take a really good tire, extend its life 50%, and receive the gain of better fuel mileage by using that better tire? Like, it's a combination thing. And that's why we talk about doing OPS, having a fleet air filter, using good tires, getting an MD alignment. It's a package deal. It's a cumulative effect of, yes, you can do one thing and that one thing will give you a benefit. But when you add all of the things together, then that gives it's an exponential gain that you're receiving at that point.
Chris, the other thing you have to think about in that scenario is that if you prolong the life of a tire that is not giving you good fuel mileage, it's costing you money every day you run it. You're not saving money by extending it. It's costing money because every day it's costing you so many miles per gallon, so much money. So again, this is a very, very easy math problem, and it's all driven by data.
Tony says, going to try to get as close to a lunatic as possible in my truck, already seeing over 1.5 miles per gallon by changing driving habits. What should I track in a scan gauge? Well, I can tell you what I track in a scan gauge, and that is throttle position sensor, because that's the one thing that shows you driver behavior, how hard you press that gas pedal. The other thing is average mile per gallon. The third is instant mile per gallon, which is, again, bringing you back to driver behavior. The fourth one depends on your personal preference. Horsepower, boost. It's about showing you algorithmized, that's probably no word. It's showing you data that's coming out of that ECM and to make you better. So if you can change your habits and you can raise your fuel mileage 1/2 to 1 mile per gallon, and then your tires can do 1/4 to 1/2 mile per gallon, and your air filter can do 1/4 mile per gallon, and your oil can do 1/4 to 1/2 mile per gallon. That's the cumulative effect that we're trying to get to. It's all about giving you data to make better decisions. Zig Ziglar was a famous motivational speaker, and he always said, you cannot change someone's mind, but you can give them information to help them make a better decision. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're using data to get things like an MD alignment, an OPS, and good oil and good tires. And then the scan gauge is giving you feedback to make you a better driver. I'm going to use this as a segue. I got a phone call today from a friend, and he said, hey, I'd like you to talk to my brother-in-law about his trucking career. So on the way down here from the shop, he called me. He's been driving 3 months. He's an immigrant. He's from Kenya. So English is not his first language. And I had told him months back when he was going to go down this path, I said, look, I want you to pick a carrier. I don't care which carrier. I want you to stay there a year. I don't care how bad you hate it. I don't care how bad you think it sucks. You're the problem. Stay the course. Well, he calls me because US Express is offering him 12 cents more a mile than the company he's with. And I said, no, stay at the company you're at. Go to the company and say, what can I do to make myself better? What can I do to make myself more valuable to you? I said, if you do that, you're going to set yourself apart from so many other truck drivers that are coming in there, and they're going to respond to that. I promise you they're going to respond to that. And I told him at the end of the conversation, which Richie was a big fan of this, Richie loved this. I said, listen, I don't know how this translates in your language from where you're from, but in America, we have a saying that says the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. And the reason that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence is because it's fertilized with horse shit. So I told his brother-in-law to make sure that he understands that reference, because I don't know if they have something like that in Kenya. But he kept coming back, oh, well, the guy told me. I was like, dude, these recruiters will lie to you. They will straight up lie to you. And the truck drivers will lie to you even more. So I said, just stay the course. Figure out how to make yourself better. Figure out what it takes to make yourself more valuable to this carrier. And I promise you they'll respond to that, because that's not something they're going to get very often. Most of the time they're going to get, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do to make my life better? Why won't you give me more miles? Why won't you do this for me? If you will go into them and say, what makes me better? Help me learn how to improve. I promise you, it'll work out for you. So I'll wait for a report and we'll see how that goes. Oh, let's see. Red Shift. Speaking of adding things together, a great product or service you could offer. Michelin dealership, MD alignment, and a suspension inspection rebuild all the time. Yeah, that's what we're shooting for. If CAMs can get set up with the national accounts, which I think we'll do with just red tape and hoops. Once we do that, then yeah, we can be a one-stop shop. Come in, get your suspension right, get an MD alignment, and throw the good tires right in there in one stop.
Just a plug here for us. Our shop is going to be a lot different than any shop you've ever gone to before, in that we're going to look at efficiency for you. And this is the kind of thing we're talking about. We're customers of shops, so we know what it's like to be treated like it and lied to and all that sort of stuff. We're not going to run a shop that way. You're going to be very, very impressed with how we run our shop and how we treat you and how we price things. Obviously, we've got to do it to make money, but we're not going to do it to make money off one person. We'll spread it out over a bunch of you. But can't wait to get this thing open so you guys can start coming in and letting treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. We've got a lot of things on the drawing board right now that we're working on that is going to make this a good experience, a positive experience for you that you're not used to getting. This is I can't really announce this, but we're also looking at providing a secure truck parking there. We've still got to work out some things with the landlord. Come there and park overnight in a secure lot, and then we'll have a shop for you if you need something while you're there. Again, efficiency. So
we have a live comment from the Peanut Gallery, Seth Coberly, who's here live and in person. If you want to improve your fuel mileage instantly, slow down. It's free.
Absolutely.
Not only does it improve your fuel mileage, it will decrease your maintenance cost and apparently make your power divider last a whole lot longer than it normally would have, because when we took it out this week, we found out that Jesus was literally inside holding the bearings together, because I don't know how that thing did not have a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. So, yeah, Seth's truck is about 6 feet in the air right now. And it was like every day we're going, oh, well, we better order one of those. And so we're getting we've had the transmission out and taken apart, put a synchronizer in it. We put a clutch in it, we put a power divider in it. We're doing new shocks, the steering gear. We did a bunch of new cooling hoses. What else we did? Oh, air dryer. Yeah. He's not going to have any money before he leaves, by the time he leaves West Virginia, but he's going to have a great, great truck. I got to tell y'all this. Every Saturday, our signal starts lighting up with the drivers all reporting their fuel mileage. And I have a truck that has a 90-day average fuel economy of 6.67. Well, a different driver got in that truck, and in a span of 1 week, it went to 7.26. All we did was change the driver from 6.67 to 7.26. So, drivers are a huge part of this. No, I'm gonna let him be. I'm not gonna tear him up yet.
What's the truck number, Chris?
833. Which that truck had our fuel mileage champion of all time. And I would say that, what's it been, 2 years since William was here? Year and a half? That truck was an 8.3 to 8.5 every single week. And then other people drove it and it dropped down. The lifetime on that truck is 7.09. But that one truck has been driven by different people. One guy gets in the 8s, one guy gets in the 6s. Same truck, same tires, same filter, same oil, and almost a 1.5 to 2 mile per gallon difference just by changing the driver. You can't make that up. Does all of your trucks have the super singles? All but one? Two. Which two? 052. No. 833's got singles. 54's got singles. 72's got singles. There's only one that has. There's an argument to be made if you're going to haul heavy, you can't run singles. So we had a couple of trucks that had duals on them because they were running platform and they would be open to hauling a little bit heavier loads if possible, because the single will not carry the weight that two duals will. Now in our application, it's not really all that necessary because we don't want to over specialize with people that are in the program, right? I don't want to put too much on them when the occasional oversized load for a platform guy comes along, like it did last week, and it was $3,200 and should have been one day, if not for permits. But we don't want to stray too far from the course of making sure that we're focusing on the business stuff and not trying to get sucked into chasing elephants with over specialized loads. So it will take one if it comes along, but we're not going to go hunting for them, because when you go hunting for them, you end up in a situation where you're not doing that blocking and tackling, the basic fundamentals of the business that we're trying to teach. But given the revenue reports of the last few weeks, I'd like to have all the trucks on platform, because platform's kicking ass, and vans we're getting our lunch taken, we're getting cleaned out, because it's the van market sucks right now. Oh, looking through more comments to see if I see anything. Well, I don't see much. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
We might touch on we've done a little tweaking to our program a little bit. We have found that some of the people that are coming here were a little bit confused as to what we're doing here. So we've reemphasized that, and you guys hearing it and understanding are the same thing. But we don't want you to come here and thinking that you're changing your job for a job here. We don't do that. This is a business class. You come here for the education. You get paid while you're here as a benefit. You might not match the pay that you left, but again, it's designed for that, because you're paid. This is training you to work as an owner operator. And as an owner operator, you're going to get paid percentage of the load. So we're teaching you how to work in that environment. And again, the primary thing we offer here is the experience, knowledge and experience. And those of you that are interested in coming here and you think you're going to come here just because you want to make more money, that's not the reason to come. You will eventually make more money, because we'll teach you how to be profitable and make 2 or 3 times what the average owner operator in this country makes. But that's not the reason. That's not going to happen while you're here, especially when you first come here, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes when you come here that we're going to have to work through. And when you make mistakes, we all lose money, more us than you. But understand that we like to make you understand that when you decide to come here, it's the same thing as deciding to open your own business. It's just that you're doing it with one of our trucks, so you don't have the financial responsibility, and you've got our guidance all along the way. So I just want to kind of retouch on that again, that our program is not designed to give you a better job, and our program is designed to give you the education so that you can go out and make yourself a better job by being a better owner operator. Because I think the message has gotten lost a couple of times in that situation. So we kind of tweaked that again a little bit. We do have some open seats right now. We've taken on a couple of more trucks, and we've had a couple of openings open up. So we are in recruiting mode, whatever that means, because we really don't try to recruit. As a matter of fact, we probably run more people off than we recruit, because we know what it takes to be here. And in your interview, if you don't convince us that you're right for that, we're not going to recruit you. We're going to try to tell you not to do it. But if you're interested in learning the business of trucking and how to open a trucking business and stay in business and learn how to run a business the way it's supposed to be run, and it happens to be in the trucking business, we can help you do that if you're interested in learning. But if you're interested in being a entitled employee, please don't call. We're not interested. Okay. Chris and both of us have said that if we were in the business of hauling freight, neither one of us would be here. We're in the business of teaching people how to run their business profitably. And it's just freight's what you've chosen to do. And so, and there's a pretty good opportunity here. But it's not what we set out to do here. Neither one of us get up every morning looking forward to hauling freight. We look forward to teaching people how to be profitable and how to, not destroy their lives by making bad decisions that this industry will lead you to make. Anyway, just a little plug out there. We do have immediate openings. So the process here is about 30 days to get you processed through Landstar. And then you could be here and in the program in that time frame. So if you're interested, go to our website. There's a form there you can fill out and submit. And then Chris will reach out to you and give you a link for you to go set your own appointment for an interview between the two of us and you. And if you're married and have a significant other, we would like for he or her to be in an interview. It doesn't have to be the first one, but in an interview, because we want to make sure that you have the right network of support at home to help you get through this. All of our information is on our website. The syllabus, the description of the program is word for word on the website. It's called Masterclass 2024. And but anyway, we do have trucks available right now if someone's interested in checking into being in the program. So the other thing is the shop. We're very excited about the shop. We think we're going to be able to offer a lot of specialized services that we seek and that we do, and now we're going to provide them for you guys. Again, I can't announce this for sure, but I'm working on the possibility of us having a used truck lot there where we're going to go ahead and have lunatic trucks already bought, modified, overhauled, ready to go for you guys. That I get an email every week wanting me to go help them find a truck, or I sell them a truck. And so we're going to try to make that a sideline of what we do there. We'll go ahead and get some trucks bought and have Chris go through them top to bottom, front to back, do our modifications, make them fuel mileage machines. And then if you're interested in obtaining one of those trucks, then we could put together a purchase, a lease or something to get you in one of those trucks. So I can't announce that right now, but that's something I'm working on in the background right now. So.
Barbara is one of our students, and
she's not one of our students. She's one of our stellar students.
Absolutely,
superstar.
But she said something to us. The value is not in the classroom. It's not what we teach. It's what you learn while you're doing it. Watching how we respond to a truck breakdown, watching how we respond to a load canceling, watching how we respond to the things that most truck drivers come apart when they happen. And then learning through the experience, that's where the value is. We had an interview a couple of days ago, and we had an audience because Richie and Seth were in the background while we were talking to a guy. And we don't play around in these interviews. We don't mince words. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to guarantee you a certain income. I'm not going to guarantee you a certain home time. I'm going to guarantee you, I'm going to teach you how to run a business. Okay. But I'm not going to cater to you. I'm not going to coddle you. I'm not going to powder your butt. If you come here looking for a job, you're going to be miserable. You're going to hate me. And I'm going to sleep like a baby knowing that you hate me because I don't care. That's not the point. That's not why I do this. See, I've lived, if you'd like Tony, I believe it was, that's listened to all 134 episodes, go back to episodes 1 through 50, 1 through 48. That's me. There's no blue ribbon on 1 through 48. But 1 through 48 tells you the story of the nightmare and the hell on earth that I went through because I did this wrong. See, that's why we do this. And that's what I told this guy in this interview. If you want to come here and do the program and come in here for 78 weeks, it's 18 months, 78 weeks, and come in and give me your full attention, give this program 100% of your effort, I can show you how to do this in a way that it won't destroy you. But if you go do this the way everybody else in the trucking business does this, number one, they base their model off of 8% of the industry, these big carriers. Well, that's not how you do business. You run down to the dealership or the lease lot, or God help you, lease a truck from a carrier at $1,000 or $1,200 or $1,300 a week, and you don't make any money. You make them a lot of money. You make the banks a lot of money, you make the carriers a lot of money, and you go broke. And so that's why we do this. And so I don't put up with truck driver nonsense. I don't put up with employee bullshit. I don't put up with whining and complaining about stuff that doesn't matter. You're here to learn how to run a business. That's what we do here. If you want to do that, you want to learn how to run a business, come on. But if you just want a different job, go find a job somewhere else, because I'm not going to give you a job. If you come here looking for a job, you're going to be miserable. That's not what we do here. You have an opportunity to learn and get paid while you're here. But I'm trying to keep you from experiencing the hell on earth that I experienced when I bought a truck and I was stupid. I was an idiot. I did things wrong and destroyed my life and almost cost me my home. Almost cost me my family. Almost cost me everything I had because I did it wrong. And then I see these jackass sons of bitches on the internet telling everybody how easy it is. Oh, well, just come over here and do my program or buy my book or lease my truck. They don't give a shit about you when your life gets destroyed and you're bankrupt. They're not going to be there to help you. They're going to dance on the ashes of your financial life and then go find some other sucker to sign up for their program and get your life destroyed. So that's what we do here, and that's why we do it. But please, God help you, don't come here looking for a job, because that's a really, really bad plan.
Well said.
Thank you. Phil says we need more platform drivers.
All this information is on our previous podcast. The entire, we don't have any secret. The thing that a lot of people are disappointed when I get here is that there's no secret information here. We just teach you how to work very efficiently and focus on the things that matter. And that sometimes requires hard work. So if you're coming here looking for the secret freight, the secret handshake, the decoder ring, or a shortcut, that's not us. Okay. The only way you're successful in business is doing, all the things that are not fun to do. That's why most people fail. So there is no shortcut. So come in here, you get to see firsthand. And here's another thing I want to point out to people, even the people in our program right now. We don't spoon feed you. You can't come here and leave with a diploma and go, I'm this person. Okay. You have the opportunity to come here and use your curiosity and ask and immerse yourself in what we do and learn from two people that are very, very good at what they do. but it's on you to extract that from us. People that come here thinking they're going to get a lecture and a tape set and all this information, and they're just going to, leave, and now they know, now they have a degree in trucking. They're going to disappoint here, because you're going to get an experience, not a book of knowledge. You'll get the knowledge, but you'll have practical application of that knowledge, because we all know that knowing and doing are two different things. Okay. Anybody that's ever been on a diet or tried to quit smoking understands that knowing and doing are two different things, right? So, but here we do. You're here long enough that you develop the experience memory, the muscle memory of doing it, that when you leave here, it's now second nature to you, and you don't have to put yourself in a position of having to do things you don't know what to do, because you've done it here so much that you now know what to do. And we can teach you all you ask for. I mean, look, our program does not include diesel mechanic school, but we've got a very, very, very good diesel mechanic here that we've hand raised. And so if you want to go over there and get on the floor with him, like Evan covered in grease there, and watch him and learn about how these trucks work, that's available to you. We're not going to make you do it, but we're not going to keep you from doing it either. So if you want to get out of the truck and go get under it with Chris and learn about the truck, that's available to you. Or you can get in a bunker and hide and go to sleep and not learn anything. But that's on you. But you have the opportunity here to use your curiosity to learn everything that we have. So, we don't really hide anything. We teach everything. We tell everything that we know. We show everything that we have. But you have to have the initial curiosity to want to learn it. And that's on you. So I guess that's the only thing I got to say, Chris.
Well said. Well, it's been an hour. I'm on location. I'm absolutely filthy, dirty, exhausted, and tired. I think we're going to wind it down here. Let me hit this one last question. Serious question. Is your model meant for Landstar or general knowledge as an owner operator, not looking for the shortcut, looking for the lesson? Obviously, because we're at Landstar, everything is geared toward that. And the reason we're at Landstar is because we can do what we want to do, how we want to do it, the way we want to do it. Landstar gives us that access, it gives us that freedom. But basic business principles are basic business principles. Larry has used these same principles in the automotive industry. He's used them in the photography industry. He's used them in dry cleaning, and now he's using them in trucking. So, yes, it's general knowledge as an owner operator. You should have a low cost of operation. You should try to raise your revenue and lower your expenses, whether you have your own authority, whether you're leasing under someone else's authority, or if you're a company driver. You should be trying to put the customer first, putting the needs of others ahead of your own. It really doesn't matter. I mean, they're basic life principles that carry over into business. So, we're at Landstar. We're teaching people how to operate at Landstar.
Can I add to that a little bit, Chris?
Please do.
So, what Chris said is actually true. Business is business. It doesn't matter where you're at Landstar or not. But here's our belief, okay? We do not believe in people starting out in this industry with their own authority. So we were going to encourage you to lease onto a carrier. Well, we have not found a better carrier to lease onto than Landstar. So it's not true that we only teach Landstar here, but we're going to encourage you to probably use Landstar, because there's a reason why we use them. It's not just an accident that we use them. We use them on purpose. And so if we're going to give you our best practices, one of those is going to be, we recommend that you lease your truck to the carrier of Landstar. And that is a very, very different animal than anything else in this industry. And so besides learning the business part of it, we can also teach you to navigate the Landstar water so that you will be successful there as well. So it's not only for Landstar, but if you're going to get in this industry and be an owner operator, we want you to be leased to a carrier at least for the first few years, if not forever. And I've been in this business since 2009. I'm leased to a carrier. I don't see any in the future. I have no plans of not being leased to a carrier. Okay, um, so that's how strongly we feel about it. So we would be remiss to say that we would not encourage you to use your business to business relationship with Landstar, because we think that that's the best place to be of all the carriers that we know about and work with. There's a reason that we're here. And you've heard me say good and bad things about Landstar because, I mean, they're a trucking company. So they have some bad things like everybody else does. But for the most part, the good things far outweigh the bad things. And the best thing is that there's no preconceived idea of how you have to run your business. And so our business is so unique that it wouldn't work in most places because they don't understand our business. And here, it doesn't matter whether they understand it or not. We're given the leeway to do what we want to do. And if you're going to be a lunatic, you're going to need that leeway as well. And so that's why Landstar is such a good choice for that. W Rock, is that Rocky, Chris? W Rock. I'll read it to you. Larry, have you bumped used truck lot, shop, trucking company, training, etc.? Well, I haven't bumped my head, but I'm an opportunistic guy, and I have seen the opportunity that these guys can present. By the way, we already do this de facto because we do a lot of homework, and so we're just going to, in collaboration with Chris and Margie, we're going to offer some of the things that we do for ourselves to other people, and help them grow their business and grow our business in there as well. But that's just the way I am. When I get into something, I get into it with both feet. And as I started talking about the shop, all these other things became apparent to me. That these are obvious sidelines that we can get into and either do it better or adapt it to our way of doing things. So, I mean, everything you talked about there, there's a need for. There's a need for a good place to buy used trucks that are going to make you money, not cost you money. There's obviously a need for the shop. And of course, we've already proven that the truck company, the trucking training that we're doing is definitely a need for that. So, I can the mud. That's my history. He loves it. But anyway, that's just the way I am.
Answer that question about the Cascadia with the ISX.
It's like we're having pizza.
Cascadia with the ISX 10-speed direct 342 struggle to stay around 6 miles per gallon. So anyway, he has a Cascadia with an ISX 10-speed direct 342s. Are you sure that that doesn't 10-speed direct should have like a 267?
Yeah. The 342 should be a double overdrive.
Yeah, that should be Again, it all comes back. It's little things. Your driving, your terrain, your oil, your everything about your truck. It's a little bit. So anyway, a 10-speed with 342s is going to struggle. A 358 with a 10-speed overdrive versus a 10-speed direct with like a 267. But if that's truly a direct, that's not going to get good fuel mileage. So I don't think a 342 is going to have a direct drive. I think it's going to be an overdrive. But anyway, well, we have just gotten some food delivered, and there may be a little more drinking. But I think we're going to shut her down here, and we should be back with you next week. And same place, same time, same channel. So we will join everyone again next Friday. Hopefully, I will be back in the home studio. We won't have all this craziness going around, and I won't be anywhere near as dirty and tired and exhausted as I am right now. So with that, I'm going to shut her down. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Be